Hey, this is DumdoDore. Sorry if my voice sounded a little bit like monotone or something like that. Just because it's like early in the morning, my throat was. It's one of those sore throats, but cold sore throat, if you know. um, I don't know how I should go about it because I really want to talk about 2025 and all that before I forget it, or at least I'll try not to. So I want to make this as my 100th video. As much as I want to incorporate like something creative just to um, reward you guys and that, I'm afraid I just don't. At least not yet. And I want to say it now, but thank you guys for giving me 100 subscriber goal. Um, Honestly, I didn't think I would get that far. I know I got it probably like around May or June. I don't have the exact date, so and I've been like holding off from this. It will likely be longer. Um, so I wanted to save like maybe my last video as a 100th video to celebrate the 100th milestone, and unfortunately I was just too busy with personal life and projects and commissions and the like, so here it is. Also, don't expect anything too flashy, and I'm not gonna bother like doing post editing stuff, say for like, I don't know, whatever. This is more like a background audio, so feel free to just do whatever if that's your thing. So I want to just talk about 2025 as far as it goes, and so let's see, 2025. I have this. I want to describe it in one word. Well, I won't say just like a one word, but it's more like a short little sentence. The sentence, it would be. It's like a roller coaster of events. Some are notable, good, and not so good. It's like I somewhat forget that there were some things that just happened in the beginning of the year, and yet we forget it until I just started looking back. Like I've been looking back at it for over the past few months from now. So life's been it's been unpredictable to some degree, and I don't even know where to begin with this. So I might as well just get out of the way and to talk about. I guess I might as well just like start with the good, and then some not so good, and then the bad, I guess. So, in terms of my personal life, how did I start, and how did I end up now? And I would say that I feel like this probably might be this year that changed for me and by far the most positive way. Maybe I'll save it later on, but all I want to state before forgetting is that I think 2025 felt different compared to the last 4 years since we entered 2020s. The other years, to my recollection, like they have their fair share of moments, but this one I feel like it's more notable, that I feel like I just had to bring it up. I feel like I ascended in my creative journey, and I also feel that the life that's surrounding me, it also just started to change. in a way, which it did not occur to me right away until I look back, and then I'm like, given that the position that I work under, well, the shift has changed for one. It still is busy, yeah, and I still have to do my real life shift before I do my creative and programming. It's stuff I had to just like put up with. And later on in like third quarter of, no, I would say the fourth quarter of 2025, that's when things started to get better. Like, I was on my vacation break, I felt more relaxed. I was able to like sleep better, and it's actually gotten a little bit better now that I can rest more. It's not much, but it made me all the more hopeful. And by that, I feel like the shift has slightly changed, so I only have to just do one building as opposed to this three. I do janitorial cleaning duty very early in the morning, and I was expecting the worst if nothing has changed, but they eventually somehow decided, we're just gonna have you just focus on one, and that was it. And that really changed. That made me feel all the more better, but I still had to like waste my hours, but I found creative ways to kill time. So that definitely made me all the more happier. It made the mornings the morning shift feel like it just goes by a little quicker. If only there was like a better way to go to work without needing to go to work this early in the morning. I don't mind it though, but if there was a way that I could just finish what I need to do there and leave whenever, that's even better. But that's an idea that I wish to do. In terms of my artistic journey in that, I would say one accomplishment that I was able to do is I finished my comic. Okay, well, I won't say that the project itself is done, but I have finished the first chapter. I've been meaning to work on the comic for a long time. So there has been attempts, but I didn't get far in the past previous attempts. The most recent being 2023, before I decided to try again into 2025. I was able to finish it and also update the website so I could have something to host my comic project and hopefully other stuff on there. That's what I need to do too. More on that later. And I think this year, commission wise, I've been doing pretty good. I don't keep track of how much work I got through commissions, but I think it's been pretty good. And now that the holiday sale has come to an end, I have some orders left, and thinking about it, I think it's been a very solid year for me so far. And I hope they keep her up, especially that I updated my approach so that it just comes off more professional. And I wanted to be more professional on that due to the scams that I've been under as a client, if you know what I'm saying. 2024 sucked for me, and I don't want to like relive through that. And I want to, be better than them in a way that, I want to offer transparency. I want to be fair and, not be a dick, So by having like a website and, including in terms of service and offering a fair service, yeah, I think it just works out. Again, I don't know if it shows any signs of improvement, but one thing is certain: anyone who supported me in the past 12 months, you guys rock. Just saying, all right. So I want to thank you for that. And let's see what else. Yeah, yeah, but there is one other thing, and this is big for me. For me this year, um, I do want to stress that I'm also a game developer, and I've been working for someone over the past 2 years. Um, like for the majority of it, I did not get paid, but that was like due to like a leadership position. Not like I'm in that position, or at least I wasn't yet. But by the time uh, I was chosen to lead a group for a particular game that we actually had out, that we just have it out this this month. Actually, it's only a demo as of now, and there's plenty of more work to be done, including mistakes and bugs that just needs to be ironed out. So it's not to say it's completely finished, but that's to be expected. But you know what I'm more grateful for is the fact that I'm being rewarded for the effort to fulfill what their dream, and that just makes me happy. And it gave me a hint of that possibility that my future goal as a full-time game dev and artist, I look at it and I feel like I'm only 1/5 of the way there, to the point that I could totally live doing doing this stuff. So it's a nice bit of income per month that helped me get by better this year. Now I tend to think that 2025 is just as bad as any other year, but not. So that's why I'm grateful to be working for them. So to you guys, thank you so much. So to the next year will be mostly the same. As of now, I won't be back on game dev like that again until like the 21st. So it just gives me plenty of time to take a break, which is good because my poor brain. I'm not using like the most complex programming software or something like that. Like I use GDevelop. It's easier, definitely, but when you're trying to work on a semi-large project, I'm not sure if I would consider it large, but it's definitely complicated. But that definitely motivated me to keep programming and to maybe find other projects to maybe get by. And someone else I contacted that also wanted their dreams to come to happen, so I offered to help them out with that. And I like to work on other projects in the meantime, but maybe 2026 will change. Who knows? Like with art, I want to get better with programming, or at least try to amp up my productivity there. But for that to happen, I'll save it towards the end. Let's see. What else? I'm actually trying to find other things though. I may be able to save to recover the money I lost. It's not the end of the world though, but because of these good changes, I was able to have more money saved up for the future. So I feel proud for that, and I hope that next year I'll be able to save up more, to the point maybe I'll be able to just like pay off my car sooner. I don't know. Good stuff, just little things like that. And I hope the I don't want to repeat this too many times, but I want to like change to better myself. Um, let's see. I think you know I'm doing fine, and I think I did pretty well despite the circumstances that 2025 also introduced. And many of these are like outside of our control, or at least here in Canada. I don't think it's not as bad as I notice. But when you have like tariffs introduced in U.S., making imports more expensive, and then you get these privacy evading uh, things, and they really, unfortunately, those things they really took off this year. It just makes me depressed of how much privacy protection is just lost, and I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna get any worse in 2026, but I expect that to. Um, what else? I think I'm missing something that is also good, but maybe. Oh yeah. Well, there is like um, there is this thing called stop killing games, and the goal behind that is to stop video games from being destroyed. And I was part of that, the part of the supporters, and I made at least a video game for that. And you already seen that, but it was a fun thing I did, and anyway, even if it wasn't perfect. Well, maybe I guess it's okay-ish enough, but I just had to. but but at the same time, I feel like the state of stop killing games is nothing huge that occurred yet, but that's not to say that the whole fight is done. There's still more to do, but for now, I'm just watching by the wayside. Um, so let me say, summertime. It's okay. It could be better if things were different. It makes me want to have a summer that I have all the freedom to myself, and that. I miss the days when I didn't have like a full-time job that didn't eat up the entirety of the year. I know I'm used to that nowadays, but it's like back then, even though we only do seasonal work, I still feel like I have more leisure time in that, or when life was just simpler. It feels different that way. It just makes me feel nostalgic for those times, and I've been thinking about it more often at this point in my time. If only. And one day, I suppose one day. Um, let's see. Well, I had a car crash, but thankfully I survived. My car wasn't completely totaled, but the front end, it definitely, at least that was insured. I would say that's a little bump in that plan, but thank God I have insurance, and my end's been, I still had to pay 300 Canadian dollars and all of that, plus service used for borrowing said vehicle. But in the end, I'd rather pay that little compared to how much I could have paid. Like, it was like over $6,000. I don't know the purpose of insurance until that happened, and I'm just like, oh yeah, now I understand how that works more. Hard to imagine. I'm in my mid-30s and I didn't know what insurance actually does. Well, I guess as long as you're paying, then technically you're putting money into your insurance until the day happens. And yeah, that taught me something. But I'm just glad that I survived that. Though those aren't like, the worst bits though. In around, hold on a minute, I need to check. So our cat Mimi, she's been with us for like well over 10 years. She passed away on April 22nd of 2025, and then months later, our grandmother, my mom's mom, she passed away 88 years old on 17th of September. And those two were devastating in my heart. Because, well, for one, although our cat, she was raised mostly indoors, mostly because the last few days she had total freedom when she was like elsewhere before passing away. But she was sweet. She could be silly, but she was just sweet. And those who follow me before knows and probably have seen her, she just hits different. Like, yeah, we're used to like losing cats. That's normal. But something about her and the way she's gone through made me reflect on like what it's like to own the next cat in the future. Like, I think they deserve better. I just wish we have a better environment. And and as for my grandmother, I will admit I barely ever hang out with her. Only like a few occasions and instances where we get to see her. But she was all right. She was all right. And part of my childhood died with it. She was sweet when we do go see her. I don't want to like talk like downer stuff, but it just needs to be brought up. So yeah, it makes me think about what next year is. I don't know. I'm not sure about my grandfather. He is still kicking though, but due to the fact that he has dementia building up over time, I don't know. Anyway, let's change that because, they certainly were like the downer points of this stuff. I think this year, despite the fact that there were like highs and lows, I can't think of anything to say that anything else, but I would say that it's harder for me to say 2025. Is this better than the last 4-ish years since 2020 kicked off? Well, I mean, yeah, sure. 2020 itself, and I guess 2021 by extension, we for you guys, we pretty much been through there at one point. But then the following years shifted, and it felt like for a good while my life seemed to suck. I tried, but it's like there were like these wacky moments here and there. And right now I couldn't think of anything without distracting myself too much. But I feel this year hits different. Despite the issues, 2025 it felt like an improvement compared to those previous years, mostly on my end. And it made me all the more optimistic towards next year, if you ask me. So, with that, I kind of want to do like an early New Year's resolution, but I don't know what I really want on like a wider scale of things, except that I want to either reduce the amount of hours needed to do at work, or just quit entirely if possible. But that's something I need to work towards. And I know there is that potential right there. So I have a good hunch maybe next year will turn out better. I think anyway. I don't know how it's really gonna go. So I just hope next year will be more of a good same things. So if anything, the one thing I wish for into new year in 2026, I would like it if I don't have to go to work ever. But more realistically, just work less hours, because well, quitting right now would not be a good idea. And then I thought about it, like I've actually planned to hopefully this year, but that didn't happen. Not in the way that I expected. My father and I thought of ways for me to change that this year, but in the end, it never happened. And that also brings me up with the other dream of mine, and that's moving into a nicer house, which there has been an attempt to make it happen, but towards the end, it just did not. It just didn't work out. I would need to have a reason to, I'm new when it comes to actually buying a house for myself. The one we live in currently, though, yes, I mean, it's a trailer, but it's not much. We've been in it for 13 years now. It's serviceable, but I wish for a nice, cozy home that feels more spacious, where we can all just live together in peace and, feels proper. But right now, the economy hasn't been the kindest, and I don't know how long we have the stick in here, but I feel like for now, I think it's best to just stick to what we have and try to build up, which is something I'd like to try to work towards at least. So if I find success somehow, I'll try to save more until eventually I'll be able to put down a good down payment and that. But it's a goal that's always been in my head for so long, so I'm not going to put that as a high priority this time in 2026. So that's where I will leave. Productivity, on the other hand, I hope to do more of that and try to, earn more. I don't want to talk about money stuff, and, money sounds like a curse word. We all need money in a way. For me, it's a afford better things to the point that I could just not have to think about money anymore, you know? Like, not like $1 million or $1 billion amounts, or, you know. I'm a simple guy. I don't need that. I don't need like luxurious cars or something. Sure, I guess buying into PC hardware this year. I'm so glad I did, because I upgraded my computer this year and also bought the other one. And I'm so glad because things have gotten more expensive due to RAM pricing. So I'm going to have to hold on to this build until eventually, I don't know. I think I'll be good for the time being. So, what else? I don't have really much in terms of like New Year's resolution goals. I want to keep working on video games and expand from there, obviously. I know I still have a project I'm currently working on. I want to get that finished and finalized and move on to the next project, and hopefully the next one will be simpler. Then again, you can't always expect things to be simpler. I just look forward to the next project once we get to that point. So, I don't have much else I could think of that, um, you know, I kind of did a little bit of tinkering. I was able to restore 2 PS2 consoles for my brother this Christmas, which is funny. Both of them just needed a cleaning, and he lost his functioning PS2 hardware in November, and he got what he wanted this Christmas through eBay lot something. Both of them have their own issues, but I was able to get them to work. I get to keep a copy of my PlayStation console myself, and you know, I want to just do that, and that's like the most recent thing I've done because I was bored. I want to do something like that, and that's fun. I like tinkering around with retro hardware. Okay, random blurb there. I lost track right now. So I pretty much already listed my New Year's partially, I think. Everything else, for me, is just I want to produce more content if I could. I won't have to worry about the housing for the time being until much later. But, looking at my New Year's resolution thing, I gotta work on my weight loss. This holiday season, I've gained quite a bit of weight, but throughout the year, I'm like, above what I should be. I'm 5'8" inches tall, and I weigh a little over 170 plus pounds. To some of you, that might not sound like a bad thing, but for me, I'm just like, I gotta have to do something about it. And I really gotta have to like work on that. So that's not where I want to be. I try to get into VTubing model work, but I barely touch the software. So what's the point of that? Nothing at all. I should try to stream more, and that's another thing. There has been attempts, but I'm starting to stream a bit more frequently, but most of that takes place on Picarto, since I have a more consistent following there, and most of my art friends are on there too. I might reattempt to do it again on Twitch, but only if I don't have like commission work that I do somewhat spicy stuff sometimes, so given the rules, I can't really do that as much. So perhaps maybe that's something I hope to try to work towards more. But I don't know. Everything else, just I hope most of the things I do gets better in the same way, same but better, you know. But the number one thing on my head, right, as again, is try to do more productive things and do less work. You know, it'd be nice if I could just eventually quit entirely, but that's someday, you know, something to look forward to, because I miss that. But I am so alive and well, just so you know, and I just hope that things don't get to the point where it becomes just so unbearable. It just definitely feels like that there were times that I feel like 2025 is bad in terms of like for mental reasons, which is why sometimes I get upset, I become frustrated and emotional. But maybe good things are there, but that's the thing. It seems good until something new is being introduced, and everything else in the world is hell, pretty much. So the least I hope to get through at least just try to survive. That's all I want. All I want to do is just survive and just keep doing what I enjoy doing. I think that's it, really. I hope next year will be better. Maybe you guys have your own New Year's resolutions. I know many don't do this sort of thing anymore, but I look at it more like, what can you do in the entirety of that year, even if you don't actively follow it. Like sometimes I look back at it and I'm constantly reminded of what I was able to accomplish and what I don't. That's what I do them. I don't do short term, but more like a long term. But anything in terms of the long term goal, I hope to rise up higher and higher. Maybe somebody good will come to me, you know. So who knows? I just hope you guys will be just as good yourself. As for content, I'll still try to post something, usually once a month, but I don't always do that. But I try. As for that 100 subscriber thing, again, I don't have anything yet, and I'm bad at it. I'd rather not try to make a solid promise, but I'll have something when I get to it. But I guess if there's one, maybe, I don't know. Oh, you know what? There is still one more thing I hope to do, and I don't know what your thoughts on that, but I like to work on the second chapter of the comic into 2026. And, well, once I have that, and of course updated my website, I would like to kind of pivot to that direction too. But there will come a point that I want to do something experimental, and I'll just let it out that for the comic, I want to open up Patreon again. But this time, it's more like, hey, if you enjoyed the comic, but if you want to support me making comics in the long term more, you know, I don't want to like gatekeep content, but I'm more like just putting it out there. I'm not sure how to go about it, but it's like just another bit of incentive, because now I have a reason to do my comic, and that's an idea I had in mind. But I'm going to save that after I finish with chapter 2. When that's finished, to be determined, you know? So just so there's enough content for you guys to just read into it. I'm happy with that project, even though it was a experimental learning curve for me. So I'll be sure to let you guys know how that goes. Hopefully sooner or better, but cross my fingers. And with that, I think that's all I have to say. 2025, it's been a wild-ish ride, you know? It's hard for me to say it's the best year. Oh, yeah. And my sister, I actually forgot this one. Like, it happened pretty much throughout, but my sister's doing great now. She is still trying to readjust her diet, but she's been going through the majority of 2025 because of the pancreas or something like that. Basically, because she's been spoiled so much. So she was like hospitalized for a good portion of her time and spent with a lot of time over at dad's, and she did get operated eventually. But man, she's a trooper, and she's been doing pretty great. She's been doing great, and hopefully she'll recover throughout this upcoming year. So I'm glad she's doing well. That's another thing. It happened like late February, that's for sure, and she eventually got what she needed in November for the operation. So yeah, I didn't want to forget that detail because I was worried about my sister's health there, but you know, it's not like super serious, life threatening, but it could be close. Okay, I did not want to forget that, and actually, my mother too. She actually got into an accident, but I didn't bring this up compared to anything else. This was just more due to the fact that she was riding with her favorite dog, and she ran into something because she was distracted for a moment. Now, in that case, she did have well, she did get her shoot. I'm thinking of a word. She got an injury, so she needed to have she needs a cast so that her forearm could recover, but she wants to like end it sooner or something like that because she has like this this inner fear of doctors doing stuff to her because of like stupid BS stuff that's on the internet, and now she has to live with this half-healed arm. She can still do stuff, but nothing too heavy. But being in her 60s, she definitely might need some heavy lifting from us boys. I know, especially. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that she doesn't strain herself too much. Oh shoot! Also, my sister, which the Toyuki. Well, that's the username, but basically, she's a real trooper this year. She's, in my opinion, like the like the GOAT or what's that word? MVP, most valuable player. Yeah, most valuable player. My other sister has been looking after my, second oldest. She has done a lot this year, and she really worked her ass off to ensure that everyone is good at that. And she's been through quite a lot. It makes me feel bad that we didn't have anything big to give her to her back. And one day, if I do earn a lot, I want to give her like a brand new computer because of that. And she did so much this year. And yeah. So if you're watching this video, you know what I'm referring to. You know who I'm referring to. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything else. So again, it's like there's been a lot of ups and downs. It's been pretty wild. But overall, I think 2025 is definitely a memorable year to me. I wish I could think of the same for every other years, with plans and goals and the like. I think that's it. That's pretty much it. I just want to get these off of my mind before I forget. So I hope to bring new things into next year. And with that, thank you for taking your time to watch this, or more like listening to this. I hope to see you guys next year with more stuff, more content, and new changes. And with that, thank you everyone for taking the time to check out. I'll see you next time. Happy New Year's.